Brought to you by Penguin.
Dusk by Robbie Arnott. Read by Zoe Carides.
1. Word reached the twins that a puma was taking shepherds up in the highlands. And not just shepherds. The hunters who tried to catch the creature were being killed too. Killed and dragged through the snow and devoured. There was a bounty, apparently. A decent price. That's all the twins heard. They'd never seen the highlands, nor had they ever seen a puma. The species had been driven out of the coastal and lowland forests when they were only children. And they couldn't be sure the story was genuine. There was every chance it was rumour or exaggeration. But they were low on money and out of work, with no leads to follow or offers before them. Winter was ending and jobs were around, but nobody they knew wanted to know them. So they chewed on the story of the puma for a few days, hoping something else would turn up. When it didn't, they bought supplies and extra blankets and turned their horses west, towards the clean light of the high plains. They travelled up the northern passage, through the golden wattles, while their last flowers still brightened the air. All that divine colour might have felt like an omen, heaven leaking between the trees. But once they reached the plateau, the truth of this country was revealed to them. A vast field of rock and tussock grass, tar black and wet brown, broken apart here and there by half-iced tarns and forests of small trees. The only shine in the land came from a few loaves of snow, soft wreckage scattered across the plain. In the distance, white peaks cut into a clear sky. The female twin was in the lead. At the crest of the trail, she had a minute to take all that lonely country in, feel the sight of it drift and settle through her. She stared longer than she normally would, and barely noticed when her brother reached her side. Where her eyes had gone wide, roaming across the broader contours of the land, his tracked small, scanning its intimate features. She pulled at the collar of her coat. Cold. Breath fogged from his mouth. I suppose. Different, though. Different enough. He pushed his heels into his horse's flank. It began picking its way over the trail, carrying him off the plateau's hard lip. His sister followed, trying to study the rocks and trees the way her brother had, before letting her gaze rest on his back. It was subtly twisted. You could only tell if you knew where to look. A spine that pushed left from the tailbone and swerved right at the lungs. One hip that rode higher than the other. Shoulders that sloped unevenly away from a thick, tanned neck. She knew her brother's back as well as her own. Knew how its snaking shape forced it to work against itself, sucking ache into his flesh. Knew how the cold tightened its kinks. But if his back was troubling him, he showed no sign of it. He sat straight, riding easy over the rough terrain, and she felt her body relax in response. Felt herself lean back in the saddle and let this strange high world hold her steady. And as her tension drained away, she began to see the land properly, saw the movement in it, saw that they were not alone. First, she spotted the birds. Pulses of feathered texture in the nearest stand of trees. Silver eyes, grey wrens, flame-chested robins. Clawed onto the upper branches was a gang of black cockatoos, ripping seed cones apart with the curved blades of their beaks, their yellow tail feathers flashing with the work. High above them all floated a pair of eagles, dark as death, arcing serenely through the...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?